Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to NoDQ&A video right here on NoDQ.com and the YouTube channel. We are now less than 1 week away until the ultimate thrill ride, Wrestlemania 33. But as far as WWE is concerned, it is just Wrestlemania, the ultimate thrill ride. Got your questions from twitter.com/AaronRift using the hashtag RoadToNoDQ1000. So let's get started today with the first one, which comes from Carl. What did you think of the go-home Raw for Mania? For me, the only match that I got excited for was Seth Rollins versus Triple H. Overall, I would say the go-home edition of Raw was pretty weak by go-home Raw standards. When it was all said and done, there were really only two matches that I felt more excited for. One of them being Seth Rollins versus Triple H, and I think a lot of that was due to Triple H's promo where he was basically channeling Vince McMahon, talking about how he would rather eat well than sleep well, and how if you're not making enemies, then you're not making money. I felt it was a very strong promo by Triple H. Rollins was so-so, but I felt Triple H really carried the segment to build up to the non-sanctioned match at WrestleMania. I felt that was well done for the most part due to Triple H. And then I felt the Undertaker Roman Reigns segment was pretty strong. Whether you are a fan of Roman Reigns and the character or not, it's an exciting match for WrestleMania. I'm very intrigued by it, and it has the star power behind it. You have Roman Reigns who, whether it's cheers or boos, he's getting a reaction, and people feel very passionately about this match. Reigns came out there and felt like a heel promo to me, and I'll get to Roman Reigns more in a few minutes here. Undertaker coming out, the two of them having the stare down, Undertaker doing his usual stuff. I thought it was good. I thought it was strong build-up, but everything else did not really work in my opinion. You had the Brock Lesnar Goldberg segment at the end, which to me only reinforced the idea that Lesnar is going to win on Sunday. Goldberg coming out, hitting the spear on Lesnar. To me, it's painfully obvious, but I'll get to that more when we do the predictions video for WrestleMania. My interest in Austin Aries and Neville went down because of the fact that that match has been bumped to the kickoff. But then again, it's the ultimate thrill ride, so every match on the show is like a big thrill ride, I guess. I don't know. I'm just fearing that it'll be a situation like last year with Ryback and Kalisto where you have two guys going out there and the arena is basically empty. Now, yes, for WrestleMania 32 there were problems getting fans into the building, but what's the excuse this year? People know that they should be showing up early, and if they want to see the Cruiserweight match bad enough, they'll get there with plenty of time to see that match. So we'll see. We'll see if there are actually people in the building for that match. But yeah, my fear is that Aries and Neville will not have the opportunity to be a great WrestleMania match, which I think is very unfortunate. And the Andre Battle Royal bump to the pre-show, really do not care about that match at all. And the women's title match, I felt that the Bayley promo wasn't that strong, and I felt that the match itself was just okay. I mean, the whole thing took up about 40 minutes of the first hour of Raw, and when it was over, wasn't really feeling it that much. I think Bayley pinning Charlotte, to me, is an indication that Charlotte's going to win the title at WrestleMania, but again, I'll talk more about that on the predictions video coming up. So overall, I thought it was just an okay Raw. Alright, got this one here from Calvin. In your opinion, which brand had the overall better build for their WrestleMania matches, SmackDown or Raw? I would say this is a little bit of a bias since the final SmackDown hasn't aired as of the recording of this video. This is Tuesday. But my answer right now is SmackDown. So unless WWE does a really bad job of building up the matches on SmackDown tonight, it's going to be SmackDown as my choice. I think that with SmackDown, you had matches that fans were not that interested in, and WWE managed to build up the matches really well. Like the mixed tag team match with John Cena and Nikki Bella against The Miz and Maurice. I am looking forward to that match mainly because of the promos. The promos were very compelling in my opinion. Everyone did a good job. Well, not sure how I feel about Nikki's performances, but Cena, The Miz, and even Maurice I felt were really strong on the mic leading up to this pay-per-view. Also, Shane McMahon and AJ Styles, regardless of what people think about it, I like the build-up. I like the angle with Shane getting his head thrown into the limo. I felt it was well done. I'm looking forward to the match. I'm looking forward to Dean Ambrose versus Baron Corbin. I'm looking forward to the SmackDown women's match, even though my guess is that will probably be a kickoff match and then I won't really care. But overall, I would say SmackDown, just because I think SmackDown has overall been the better show and the build-up for the matches has been better overall. Got this one here from Extreme Team. What do you think about Undertaker beating Roman Reigns at WrestleMania and after the match, Reigns attacks Undertaker to turn heel? I like the idea. I like the idea if Roman Reigns is going to turn heel, which I'm not expecting to happen. Again, I will dye my hair pink if Roman Reigns does an official heel turn at WrestleMania. I think that the best way to turn Reigns heel would be to pattern it after WrestleMania 17, even though the Austin heel turn was not a good idea. On paper, the idea that Austin is feeling desperate that he would go as far as to align himself with Vince, I think that that concept with Roman Reigns would work well, where Reigns is so desperate that he has to break the rules in order to beat The Undertaker, or, like you mentioned, have a situation where Reigns loses and then snaps. That would also work. I think either way would be fine, but I'm not expecting it. Based off of Raw this week, Reigns was not backing down to Undertaker at all. He had this look of the guy who is extremely confident, who has no fear, and that's what WWE's doing with Reigns' character. This is a guy that is not desperate. He feels he can beat The Undertaker. Maybe if he loses, he'll snap. But again, I'm not expecting it. There was a recent interview with Triple H on Sports Illustrated's website, and there's an excerpt up on NoDQ.com. Triple H basically feels, and this is how everyone in WWE feels, that Reigns is already getting booed. So isn't the guy a heel already? This is Triple H's attitude about it. I don't think Reigns is turning. I think that WWE likes this dynamic where Reigns gets a huge reaction and they'll just edit out the boos when they feel like it, and they'll just keep doing what they've been doing. I don't expect anything to change, but to answer your question, I think that would be a good idea if they were going to turn Reigns heel, which I don't think they will. This one comes from Zach. If Roman turns heel at WrestleMania, more Reigns heel turn questions, do you see opposite reactions from fans going forward? Smart fans cheering instead of booing. Of course that's the fear, and I'm sure that's WWE's attitude about it, that, hey, if we turn Reigns heel and change his character, the fans are just going to cheer him. The guys that were booing him will cheer him. Yes, that might happen, but you look at Hulk Hogan turning heel, and there were still a lot of fans that booed Hogan because Hogan did a good job at being a bad guy. I think if Reigns went out there and did his job and was a great heel, then the fans would boo him for the most part. Yeah, you would have your fans cheering the cool heel, and that's inevitable, like with the NWO and with Steve Austin, he was the cool heel. But I think if Roman Reigns did a good job at being a heel, and if the turn was done correctly, I think the fans would react appropriately. I think they would boo Reigns for the most part in a good way. I think right now you have fans booing Reigns because they don't like the character. I think when you have a good storyline and good character development, then you will get the reaction you're looking for. You look at Kevin Owens, the fans were cheering him for the longest time even though he's been a heel. But with this Chris Jericho storyline, it's been done well. This is a storyline that was compelling, and fans started to boo Kevin Owens because he was being a good bad guy. Ripping up the list was being a good bad guy. So if you do it correctly, you can definitely get the fans to boo Roman Reigns. It's just a matter of not screwing it up. And that's a fear I've had with turning Cena heel years ago and turning Reigns heel now, that WWE would somehow manage to screw it up. And yeah, they might have a situation where the fans are just cheering for him instead of booing him because he's a good heel, because he's a good bad guy. This one comes from Torvik. What will be longer, the Lesnar-Goldberg entrances or the actual match? If you've seen pictures and video up on NoDQ.com of the WrestleMania 33 set construction, it is a very long ramp. It is extremely long, and it would not surprise me. In fact, I'll go ahead and make a prediction that Lesnar and Goldberg's combined entrance time will be longer than the actual match. I'm going to go ahead and make that prediction. I'm sensing that Lesnar and Goldberg is going to be very short. My prediction, in fact, is that it will be basically Survivor Series in reverse, where Lesnar dominates Goldberg, and that's it for Goldberg. Maybe they do a 3-minute match, but my gut feeling is it's going to be really short. It's going to be less than 3 minutes. But I'll post something on NoDQ.com, do a poll, and get predictions from everyone about how long that match will go. Because I think it'll be interesting to see what people predict and what actually happens. Got this one here from Mr. Yuck. Does it water down Kevin Owens and Samoa Joe being paired a lot? It seems a disservice to them both in ways, does it not? Not necessarily. I think it's good to pair them if they're going to be part of the top heel group in WWE along with Triple H. You know, there's been the speculation about Triple H forming a new evolution with Samoa Joe and Kevin Owens, and if that's the case, I think it's a good idea. I think if it results in the two of them being part of this dominant heel faction in WWE, then I'm all for it. I'm all for them working together as a unit, and if it keeps them up on top and makes them stronger heels, then I'm all for it. Now, if it's going to be like the League of Nations, where you're just pairing guys because you have no idea what to do with them, then that would be a mistake. But if it's part of a master plan to make this really dominant faction with Triple H at the helm, then I like the idea. I think it's a good thing to pair them up. Got this one here from Sean T. Flick. Do you see WrestleMania coming to Las Vegas after the Raiders Stadium is built? Absolutely. I think it's inevitable. I think that we will see WrestleMania in Las Vegas, but not right away. It will take time to build that new stadium. From what I'm understanding, the Raiders will still be in Oakland for another 2 years. My feeling is that when WrestleMania comes back to the West Coast, it will be in Los Angeles first, once that Rams Stadium is finished in Inglewood, in the Inglewood area. And then maybe in 5 years, we'll see WrestleMania in Las Vegas. My feeling is 2020, 2021 will be WrestleMania in Los Angeles, and then a few years after that, we'll see WrestleMania in Las Vegas, maybe 2023, somewhere around there. But yes, I think sooner than later, we will see WrestleMania back in Las Vegas, and should be a really fun show. I will definitely plan to go to that one. I'll go to any WrestleMania that's on the West Coast, whether it's California or Oregon or Washington or Nevada, you know, one of those 4 states, or even Arizona. I did not go to 26 because I was not able to at the time, but if it's in one of those 5 states, I'll definitely go to another WrestleMania at some point in a big stadium. Got this one here from the Outcast Kid. Is WWE building a roller coaster above the stadium or a park theme? Is Shane going to jump off the structure? A lot of speculation about the WrestleMania set. It definitely looks like WWE is doing some sort of amusement park theme, maybe even some sort of working roller coaster. From what I understand, it's really complicated to build an actual roller coaster, and they would need certain permits, and this would take a lot of long-term planning. So I'm not sure if we're going to get something as detailed as that with an actual roller coaster, but maybe they'll have something, some sort of cart where the wrestlers are coming down the ramp. It's a really long ramp, like I said earlier, and you're going to have guys getting winded unless you do something where they can come down. You know, I'd love to see something like WrestleMania 3 and WrestleMania 6 with the ring cart, but make it shaped like a roller coaster and have them come down that way. If there's a way to do it, I think it would be awesome. And it's certainly looking like one of the more interesting WrestleMania sets in WWE history. From all the eyewitness reports, apparently the thing is huge. This huge structure that they're building for the set. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad WWE is going all out for the set. You know, fans have been complaining about the WrestleMania sets being too generic. Well, this year it looks like they are going all out and doing something really extraordinary. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And you can stay tuned to NoDQ.com to see the latest videos and photos as they become available of the set. This one comes from Daniel Jobber. Do you think CM Punk could have been a good top babyface if they turned Cena heel in 2012? Not a Punk fan myself, but Sheamus? Well, if you read that article, CM Punk was never seen as a guy who was going to be the top babyface. WWE wanted a superhero babyface to replace John Cena. That has been the formula in WWE going back to the Hulk Hogan era, to have this ultimate babyface who can do all the Make-A-Wish appearances and all the TV appearances, be the media guy, be the Hollywood movie star guy. And CM Punk was not seen as that guy, and that's why Punk was never pushed or even considered to be in that role that John Cena is in and Roman Reigns is in, and even The Rock. You know, The Rock basically became, even though The Rock was edgier than Cena and Reigns, The Rock was the Hollywood movie star who could do all the TV appearances and be that type of guy. And CM Punk wasn't going to be that guy. CM Punk was never corporate. CM Punk wasn't going to be the George Clooney of WWE. You know, that's not who Punk is. He wasn't going to be that guy. And Steve Austin was really the one exception to the rule, where Austin was the anti-hero. But even Austin did the movies and did the TV appearances, and that really wasn't CM Punk's personality. So, you know, it just didn't work out for Punk to be that guy. And, you know, WWE wanted to try and make Sheamus that guy, but it just didn't work out. And WWE decided not to go with the John Cena heel turn. And, you know, really 2012 was the best opportunity, and WWE just got cold feet on it. This one comes from Andy McManus. Which wrestler is better at commentating, CM Punk or Austin Aries? This really depends on your own personal taste. I think Austin Aries did a great job commentating on 205 Live. I think Punk did a really solid job as well. The thing about Punk that I remember really well was when he spilled his diet soda. I thought that was a very funny segment. But overall, I would say probably Austin Aries. I think Aries did a really good job on commentary. But again, it really comes down to personal preference. I think both of them did really well. This one comes from Slow Motion. Since ratings went up when Steve Austin got injured and Rock was clearly the number one guy, wouldn't that make Rock a greater draw than Austin? You have to keep in mind that Steve Austin brought in the people. Steve Austin was the guy that was the star in WWE, and everyone else pretty much rode Austin's coattails. Now, to Rock's credit, he was so talented that he not only was able to become his own breakout star, but when Austin was gone, The Rock was able to keep the product hot. Now, I think part of it was The Rock, and also part of it was the fact that WWE had gotten so hot because of Steve Austin that the WWE brand became really strong. But everyone capitalized off of Steve Austin's success. The Rock did, Triple H did, Mick Foley did. You know, the whole concept of the Attitude Era, it helped build all these new stars. So it was a combination of a lot of things, not just The Rock's star power. One could argue, though, that The Rock helped sustain WWE's popularity when Austin got hurt. And perhaps The Rock definitely drew in a lot of people when it came to being a movie star and being mainstream in ways that Austin could not do. The Rock's star power helped get a lot of people tuning into WWE as well. So no doubt The Rock was a huge draw. No question about it, but I would not say he was bigger than Steve Austin. Austin was, in my opinion, the biggest draw in WWE history, and really the guy that helped WWE regain the momentum after losing to WCW for several years in the ratings. This one comes from Dave Lesnar. What would have happened if Batista never left in 2010 and Edge never retired? Would we still have gotten the pipe bomb in the Yes movement? I'm really not a fan of answering the what if questions because one change in history could affect the entire future. The entire future could have been different. I think that if Edge had not retired and Batista had not left, I think that eventually WWE would have built new stars like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, but it would have not happened as quickly. I think Batista leaving and Edge retiring sped up the process, and WWE had to make new stars quicker. And because of that, we got CM Punk's rise and then Daniel Bryan's rise. But yeah, it would have taken a longer time, I think, for those stars to really develop. But would there have been an NXT? Would there have been a pipe bomb? Who knows? I mean, that question is really impossible to answer. Things could have gone in an entirely different direction. Something completely different. That'll wrap it up for this edition of NoDQ&A video. Thanks as always for watching. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. This is one of the busiest weeks, arguably the busiest week in the site for the entire year. So stay tuned to NoDQ.com for the latest regarding the ultimate thrill ride, Wrestlemania, the set design, the Triple H comments about Roman Reigns. Lots of stuff up on the site right now. NoDQ.com has got you covered, and I will see you guys next time for Wrestlemania Predictions.